can go, Brew, you kind of already gave up on the Packers earlier in the show when you were celebrating with a Ravens robe. Greg, we haven't heard from you. Are the Packers done?
Give it up, but
Not writing the Packers off. They're not done. However, I don't feel great about them. But I'm not writing them off. Look, Matt LaFleur is going to be coaching, in my opinion, to show how great of a coach he is.
to save his job?
No, not to save his job, but we don't mention Matt LaFleur in terms of in the same category as we mentioned Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay or all these guys. But Matt LaFleur has an opportunity to do something with the team that is limping into the postseason, not feeling really great about themselves and what they put on film, but still have personnel to where they feel like we can still get some things done. Yeah. You don't give up on that. You feel like Jordan Love comes back and he's healthy, you still got a shot. You have offensive guys. You have enough offensive weapons. Are you missing some? Yes. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to give you a pass. Nobody's going to give you that excuse. Micah Parsons not there. Before Micah Parsons even got there, you felt like you had a really good team. So nobody's going to feel bad about them. But if Matt LaFleur is able to coach this team up and put them in a position to where we saw what he's been doing with Malik Willis, we see a completely different individual at quarterback.
He was awesome.
Great. And so if Matt LaFleur can get this team to win 1 or 2 games, get this team past the first round, I think we'll start to give him a little bit more credit.
I think LaFleur is a really good coach. If they forget being fully healthy, if they just had Micah, Jordan Love, I expect him to play, but he's healthy, and Josh Jacobs, I would think they would be my favorite in the NFC. I still would feel really good about my pick with them. I'm not writing them off. I'm with Greg because I just think the conference is wide. It's still open, just like the AFC. So I'm not writing them off, but they're no longer a favorite. Like, it would be a little bit of a surprise to me, a good amount of a surprise, if they get out of the NFC. But I am giving them a chance because I just think there's no world beater in there. And if you guys want to throw this in there, Malik Willis, and you mentioned him, I'm thinking, does he go somewhere with a chance to start next year?
Yes.
Like Pittsburgh or something like. I mean, seriously. Like,
listen. I mean, he's going to be a free agent.
No question. He's
he's definitely going to go. I don't know that he'll be installed as a starter, but yeah, I mean, he was awesome in this game, and it just
He's
really
been awesome.
How about Indy?
Indy waiting for Daniel Jones to come back, maybe.
Minnesota.
There's somewhere. I mean, 18 of 21 for 290.
No, I like him.
Is something.
Remember how high people were on him in the draft.
So this is why I was a little surprised at how over the moon Brew was with this Ravens-Packers game. And here's why.
Yeah.
You agree with me.
Well, I mean, but everybody, the Ravens are your team.
I understand. The Ravens are your main team.
So,
I totally, but
second.
I view the Ravens as dead already. And I didn't view the Packers as full, as far as winning the championship, fully dead prior to this game. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, the injuries have become too much.
Mm-hmm. So,
injuries.
But you don't think J-Lo?
So you think they're done?
The Packers?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Like, and done in terms of
They
like,
can't
no
make
chance.
the Super Bowl. They can't make the Super Bowl.
They can't make the Super Bowl.
They make noise.
They are going.
I mean, remember, they were a week ago. They should have beat the Bears.
And by the way, they are probably going to, play the Bears in round 1. In round 1, we can tell you they're either going to Philly or to Chicago. I would, if Jordan Love's back, I assume they're going to rest everyone this week in Green Bay because there's no reason not to. And so I will give them, depending on the matchup, a puncher, honestly, either matchup, a shot there. But do I think that this Packers team, as presently constituted, can go on the road to Philly or Chicago, either one, win that game, then go on the road to the rested NFC West champ, either Seattle or San Francisco, and win that game? No. So I think their ceiling is the divisional round of the playoffs. So again, there's no real shame to that, in my opinion, for them because of the injuries.
Sure.
I think that they lost their best offensive weapon, one of the best defensive players in the league, to injuries. I don't think you're overcoming that, but I am, even in a wide open NFC, it's not open for them. It's not open for them, and sadly, it might not be open for the NFC South champ.
All right, let's unpack this. Let's examine some of these tepid takes floating around. Bruce expresses he'd be astonished if they reached the Super Bowl. Well, obviously, the roster is devastated by injuries. So, okay. Then he also mentions, unsure of public sentiment, but he could envision Malik Willis securing a starting role somewhere. Indeed, Malik Willis is performing exceptionally, and the NFL perpetually requires capable quarterbacks. Observing Malik Willis play elicits a reaction of pure astonishment. I find myself profoundly impressed and inspired by his trajectory. A narrative like his is genuinely remarkable and incredibly compelling. Yet, there hasn't been widespread discourse about collusion or systemic bias. He doesn't command the colossal, fervent fan base of a Shadur Sanders. Malik Willis has simply kept his focus downward, dedicating himself to the grind. This individual has likely now positioned himself for a contract worth tens of millions and a definitive starting role in the league. I'm enthusiastic about his prospects. I personally hope he lands with a team like the Indianapolis Colts, linking up with a coach like Shane Steichen. Malik, if career trajectory matters to you, you prioritize the head coach. The Indianapolis Colts represent such a destination. Perhaps the Minnesota Vikings, contingent on their plans. But with Shane Steichen and the Colts, you'd likely step in as the immediate, unquestioned starter. Seize that opportunity. Don't entertain distractions elsewhere. Don't be enticed by superficially appealing situations. Steichen can cultivate an environment for success. Prioritize that. Concerning the Green Bay Packers, the situation is disheartening. Watching that contest against the Ravens was genuinely disappointing. It truly was. The defensive unit simply could not contain Derrick Henry. But that's evident at this stage. Having already dissected this game in a post-game segment, extensive rehashing feels somewhat redundant. The focus must shift forward. I believe facing the Chicago Bears presents a more favorable scenario than encountering the Philadelphia Eagles. This isn't a commentary on the Eagles being vastly superior to the Bears. It's unrelated to comparative talent. The core issue is the palpable collective morale. Everyone is undoubtedly experiencing feelings of dejection and defeat. We might attempt to mask it, but it's present. As a supporter, you sense it. I assure you, the athletes internalize it as well. I'm conveying that the entire group is fatigued. They're disheartened. They're dismayed. They're struggling to comprehend the current predicament. Certainly, they can endeavor to ignite their own motivation, to generate some collective spark, and some individuals will manage it. Others will not. Some may summon it briefly before it dissipates. We're all human. We all possess emotional limits. There are undoubtedly players within that locker room who, at their core, still believe a Super Bowl is achievable, just as there are fans proclaiming, we can still win it all. Conversely, other fans have concluded, it's over, we're finished. I guarantee a similar mixture exists among the players and coaching staff. You're witnessing a spectrum of reactions within the Packers ecosystem. However, I will assert this unequivocally. Absolutely nobody desires to lose to the Chicago Bears in the playoffs. No player, coach, staff member, physical therapist, strength coach, coordinator, no one affiliated with Green Bay wants to journey to Chicago and suffer defeat. Not a single person. They are incensed. They are furious. They are livid. They are convinced there were questionable, potentially dirty hits on Jordan Love. Whether factual or perceptual, that belief is firmly held. Consequently, they will emerge from the tunnel prepared for an explosive, relentless performance. I believe you could witness a scenario bordering on surrender against a team like the Philadelphia Eagles. To be clear, defeating the Eagles remains possible. Any team can triumph on any given day. I'm recording this the day before you'll view it, and currently the Atlanta Falcons are dismantling Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. He's thrown a pick six, another interception, and the halftime score is approximately 21-0. Thus, anything is feasible in this season's playoffs, without question. I'm not dismissing the Packers' chances entirely, but they are undoubtedly running on fumes. This squad is scraping the bottom of its emotional and psychological reserves, searching for any rationale to continue battling, for a cause to fight. Therefore, in this specific context, you find yourself in the unusual position of supporting the Detroit Lions. Consider the potential silver lining. Suppose, for argument's sake, a Super Bowl victory isn't in the cards this year. I'm not definitively stating it's impossible, but let's hypothesize. What then becomes the next most gratifying outcome? Eliminating the Chicago Bears from the postseason. Precisely. Denying them the opportunity to secure their inaugural playoff victory with the Ben Johnson-Caleb Williams era in full swing. The Packers will not capitulate. They will exert maximum effort to ensure that narrative does not materialize. And what could be more satisfying than accomplishing this in Chicago? The atmosphere will be electrified, a celebratory frenzy. The Bears faithful will be incredulous. Look at us, division champions, hosting a playoff game. Then Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers arrive to declare, "Congratulations, but not today." I am telling you, the focus, the preparation, the locker room mentality, they will be intensely concentrated. Should they encounter adversity, even a daunting 21-0 deficit, they will not relent. The surrender mentality will not manifest. You simply will not witness that same degree of ferocity in a matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. It won't be present. If faced with a substantial deficit against the Eagles, the response might trend toward, "All right, it's concluded. Let's just conclude this and depart." A sense of, "I just want to go home. The season is finished. I'm injured. Let's wrap this up," could permeate. That conclusion is far less likely against the Bears. It simply is. That is the pivotal distinction. That's the entire ballgame. I've been advocating for this specific playoff matchup for weeks, ever since discerning the seeding could facilitate it. Initially, I pondered the possibility in Lambeau, but that's evidently off the table. Once the Packers were cemented as the 7th seed, the requisite scenario involved the Eagles securing the 2nd seed and the Bears the 3rd seed. Wait, let me recalibrate. I'm conflating the seeding logic. You require the Bears to obtain the 2nd seed. My apologies. So, earlier when I mentioned needing the Lions to triumph, the necessity is actually for the Bears to win, thereby claiming the 2nd seed, which would then host the 7th seed. That's the objective. I trust you followed along and noted my self-correction. That's the essential configuration. A confrontation with the Eagles embodies a distinctly different dynamic. This potential matchup, the Packers versus the Bears in the wildcard round, is what has fueled my anticipation. Contemplating if a divisional round clash were feasible, if they're the 3rd seed and you're the 7th, the only avenue for a Packers-Bears playoff encounter would be the NFC Championship game. Don't misinterpret me. That would also be wildly compelling. However, probability diminishes as both teams would need to navigate significant hurdles to reach that stage. So, it's a vigilantly wait-and-see circumstance. Yet, I am convinced that the prospect of facing the Bears in the playoffs, and specifically thwarting their quest for a home playoff victory, would galvanize this Packers team more powerfully than any other potential opponent. It's an undeniably arduous and exasperating predicament for the Packers. When your team is ravaged by injuries, the frustration is profoundly felt. I empathize with it deeply. I intend to produce an Eagles-focused video shortly, likely nearer the playoff commencement. For Green Bay, it almost feels, particularly regarding coaching and potential, like a missed opportunity season, because the competitive landscape appears remarkably open. You never know when you'll next have complete roster health. The Packers understand this reality all too well. Jordan Love being sidelined, injuries to key contributors like Tucker Kraft and Micah, it's an unpredictable element. It borders on miraculous when a team enters the playoffs relatively intact. The Packers have found themselves on the unfavorable side of this injury equation for consecutive years, unfortunately. Beyond that, there's limited elaboration required. However, I don't believe you can entirely dismiss them. This is, after all, the Green Bay Packers. This franchise is not the Cleveland Browns, the Carolina Panthers, or the New Orleans Saints. This is an institution of football royalty. They command a certain legacy-driven resilience. We shall observe how the final seeding materializes. You'll need to reconcile yourself to supporting the Bears against the Lions, or conversely, rooting against the Eagles. One of those two outcomes must occur. If both the Eagles and Bears win, the desired scenario still materializes. We will monitor the developments. Those are my reflections. I am exceedingly eager to hear yours. What are your perceptions of the Green Bay Packers? Are you prepared to categorically dismiss their contender status? Share your viewpoints in the commentary section below. I scrutinize every single comment. Whether you align with my perspective or dissent, let's engage in dialogue. Let's have passionate debates, but ultimately, let's enjoy the discourse. Please consider subscribing. We are cultivating a phenomenal community here, and I would be delighted for you to participate. I aim to construct something we all feel a genuine connection to, something we are authentically excited to be part of. I believe we are making substantial progress toward that objective. Please also remember to approve this video. It genuinely enhances visibility and assists the platform's algorithm. Thank you immensely. Until next time.